Hey everyone, I'm back. That's funny. That reminds me of In the Kitchen with Jeannie Young. She is a sweetheart. She has a YouTube channel that actually most of her recipes she prepares are things that if you're canning and actually preparing your pantries with, you can use her recipes. I have plenty of them with your preps. But I wanted to show you our current state of affairs. We are also disappointed but overcast today, raining, no sun. I just don't know how we would grow anything. But look at our garden. There's my fingers again. Our garden is full of grass and weeds. So it appears to be there will be no planting this year. I think we're going to try to plant a few things. Well, and here comes the rain right now. So what I wanted to share with you is my sister actually gave me a little small lettuce plant. It is purple lettuce. And I feel really bad because it has been on the kitchen sink, and I'm just going to take a spoon, see how wet this ground is. There is no way we could get any real planting done. So I am going to make a little hole and plant this little plant, and we'll check it out, see how it does within the next couple of weeks. Nope, not deep enough. I want to get its little root system a nice little hole there. But look, this garden is just mud. This is one of the reasons we have not planted. It is even mud deep. So our root systems would just mold and not grow. But since I'm not going to be in the garden all day, finger again. Sorry, guys. I did bring out of the preps, I got a glove out of the trauma and first aid kit. I think it came out of the trauma kit, not the first aid kit. But I didn't feel like getting my nails muddy. So there is my one little lettuce plant in the garden. So thank you to my sister for providing one plant in the garden. And if you get the plants and you don't start the seeds, it's as simple as that. So I'm going to leave these things here and flip you around. I think I'll just sit on the back steps. Oh, let me show you this. I had mentioned grilling. This is the hole that Libo Hound dug and just bought a little grate that we have been cooking on, that I will more than likely be cooking outdoors at that little grill with you. So I'm just going to sit here on the back stoop. Yeah, forgive me for my fingers. I really wasn't prepared to do this video, but realized that I needed to get that plant in the ground. It was looking a little shabby and just running water over it. Let me get this glove off. It's making my hands sweat. And then I will hold you all still. I need to get a selfie stick. I'm aware of that. But we just haven't had the weather for a garden, and there are states that people are discussing, their gardens scorching. Well, we're not getting enough sunshine for anything to scorch here. We're just getting enough rain and clouds for our root systems not to make it. But one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you today, so many people ask. Now, I have a little journal here. My sister, I think, or maybe my granddaughter bought me that for Christmas. And I decided to do a journal for my children as to why I wanted to have extra food on hand and how to, what my line of thinking was as to how to do that. But I have noticed in so many comments on many of the channels and in chat on the channels that I participate in, people wonder, how much do I need? Well, one of the things will depend upon, you know, are you going to try to eat like you do every day? I don't think so. If we have, you know, a major situation, we don't know how long the power is going to be out. In the states that, you know, it's hurricane season, tornado season, flood season, you know, the Midwest, bless their hearts. Pray for them every day. Y'all remember them in your prayers. You know, we have snow situations. There's many reasons why we lose power. And there are so many people that suggest that you have a year's supply of food. Well, how much would that be? I've watched several of the YouTube channels. I've done a little research beyond that of what I think our family would be comfortable with. And I've come up with a number that I wanted to share with you to help you out, and you can tweak this, you know, to fit your own needs and your family's needs. But, you know, for a basis, we're looking at, you know, your dry goods, your rice and your beans, protein, fillers for any meal, 60 pounds per person for a year's supply. Flour, if you're going to bake bread, pancakes, bagels, you know, we're going to, you know, do the all kinds of bread baking on the grill, outdoor grill with the aluminum, cast aluminum Dutch oven. Wouldn't come to my mind. I'm sorry. This wind is killing me, sidetracking me. But then 30 pounds of cornmeal for your cornbread. Or if, you know, the flour or the cornmeal for corn or flour tortillas. You can use the tortillas for tacos, veggie tacos if you don't have meat. You can use we're going to can some sausage. You can use the tortilla shells, soft tortilla shells, or make harder, you know, corn tortillas, which is a little more difficult, but the soft ones for breakfast burritos. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do with that. Bread as a filler. Flour, cornmeal, that's not expensive. Now, my personal favorite is Hudson Cream. I really, really think that it rises and does the best job of any of the other products. I know a lot of the YouTubers really enjoy King Arthur's, and I just noticed this week King Arthur's had a recall. So I'm glad, well, any of the companies can. Ragu did too. But I really think as far as getting a good rise out of your biscuits and your cornmeal, and I can show you those recipes if you're not familiar with that, has a better rise. So on to 40 pounds of sugar per person. And then you have to decide for yourself how many fruits and vegetables do you want for a week to have a balanced meal. And don't forget, you have to have cooking oil. We have to have fat in our diets. There, you know, are stories and research for years, people in remote areas that have been found with beans and rice aplenty, and they were dead. They starved from malnutrition. They didn't have the balance that they needed. So you can decide how many cans of fruit you want a week, how many cans of veggies you want a week. Per person, I think a couple of days a week, you know, a couple of cans a week would be enough. And then there's 20 pounds of oatmeal. Now you can get your fruit in your oatmeal. You know, mix up your oatmeal and put some of your canned fruit in it, and then leave some of your canned fruit aside for a dessert for your dinner. And then, of course, you're going to need enough instant milk. I averaged, you know, thinking that it would be with making bread and making oatmeal, we would probably need at least a gallon of, you know, what would mix up to be a gallon of powdered milk per person for a week. And then, of course, you need a minimum of a gallon, at least minimum of a gallon of drinking water per person. And then you have to average in how much water are you going to need to cook. Now, rice takes the equal amount of water as it does rice to cook. So if you're going to be cooking 2 cups of rice, then you know you need 2 cups of water. With the pinto beans, everybody is buying, you know, 100-pound bags of pinto beans. unless you have a tremendous water source, you're going to use all of your water trying to cook pinto beans. So my family and I discussed it, and we have opted out to buy canned, already, metal cans of manufactured processed pinto beans, because we are pressure canning meat. So the balance of the meat and the pinto beans, it weighs itself out. But, those numbers I gave you were for my family. You have to, look how many cups are in a pound, how many cups do you use, start, paying closer attention if you do bake breads or bake cornmeal or bake biscuits. How many cups do you actually use of flour or cornmeal when you're baking a pan of cornbread or a pan of rolls or biscuits, or, and measure it out. Do the math. It doesn't take long. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. So, you need to, plan your meals. If you have your meals planned and know, how many days each week of each item you're going to want, then do the math and measure. These numbers are based on my family. Another thing is, I'm a big proponent on, we need comfort foods, especially if you have children in your family. We have vacuum sealed, I can't think of the name. My brain is in too many places. I want to tell you too many things and can't get it out fast enough. Rice Krispie treats and the marshmallows. I think I mentioned in other videos why I need to get into that dreaded "we've got to can butter" video, because we need butter for the Rice Krispie treats, and it's cheaper to can it yourself than to buy the red feather butter. But if that's the only option you have, that's better than nothing. But we want to make, the baby Rice Krispie treats. I have still milled candy. Crackers. We have tons of crackers. We have flavored crackers. We have saltine crackers. We have oyster crackers for soup. Those kinds of just neat little things that doesn't mean a lot right now, but if we were in a situation without power for any length of time, and you had canned your homemade vegetable soup and you had no cornmeal, you didn't put that in your preps, it is so easy to go buy a couple of cheap bags of oyster crackers and Sillamil them, or I can show you how to oven can them. So if you don't have a Sillamil, you don't have to make that purchase. But you can them, and then you've got those crackers. I mean, just the little things, any little thing like that you can think of. But I just wanted to come live real quick and show you me planting that wonderful little lettuce plant that my sister gave me. And then, that started me thinking about so many people having questions of they don't know how to start. Now, my next video, I'm going to sit down and do some math, and I'm going to show you for a very inexpensive, price, the amount of money that you can store for meals for a 6 weeks period of time. And that will be for 2 people. So then you would just multiply it for however, many people that you plan to feed in your meal. But off of the top of my head, like I said, I have to do the math. I'm thinking we can probably feed 2 people for 6 weeks for about $60. But I'm going to do that math, and I'll get back to you, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. But thank you so much for being here, by sticking with me and helping me through this learning process. I love each and every one of you. If you have any questions whatsoever that you think I can answer, just put it below. I love all the love that you've been giving me in your comments. It's awesome. This has been a huge learning curve, but I'm getting there. I'm real happy I learned how to do the thumbnails. So, I'm not gonna, have a hugely fancy, YouTube channel, but I'm going to try to give you the best information that I possibly can give you based upon how me and my family have done it. It may be different for you and your family, but you can take my ideas and make them more appropriate for your family. But it's a starting place. And so many people are afraid. They think, oh, prepping, you know. I worked with a gal, she was a sweetheart. She would say, oh, Kim thinks the zombie apocalypse is coming. No, I do not think the zombie apocalypse is coming, nor do I think the aliens are coming either. I don't want to offend any of my fellow YouTubers, but you know, I'm really not sold on the alien attack yet. Don't know why we're trying to fly to the moon. We don't want to get on what my opinion of that is either. But I do have a few opinions on whether we ever went in the first place. That flag in that picture bothers me, and who was taking that picture? But anyway, you know, get off of track sometimes. As you can tell, I can be a talker, but you know, just in my nature. But anyway, I hope these numbers help you. Just do the math for what you think you would like to have for your family in a week's time. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, back in December, one of the committees associated with Homeland Security suggested we have at least 6 months of food and water stored for a possible grid down situation. Well, if the government is going to tell me 6 months, then I'm looking at, we probably need to prepare for 1 to 2 years. So I don't have that. We are not there yet. But it's, you know, like the Alaska Prepper says, you know, just slow and sure, you know, that wins the race. And every payday, you know, we buy something and add it to our little stockpile. And, you know, we have boxes of, I watch for the sales for Knorr rice and pasta sides, the jambalaya boxes of rice, little packages of sauce flavors, gravy mixes that you can spice your rice up with. You know, those things aren't expensive. We watch for the 10 boxes of the hamburger helper for $10. Now, if you have not, you know, started canning with me and you don't have, you can pretty much gauge 1 quart of pressure canned ground meat will be plenty enough meat for 2 to 3 boxes of hamburger helper. You can put tuna in your hamburger helper. You can, you know, have stocked up on your little cans of chicken, and you can use chicken in your hamburger helper. You can use treat or Spam in your hamburger helper, or anything that's going to give you any kind of a little boost, you know, on your protein. We look for brownie mixes, cake mixes, when they go on sale, 5 for $5, 10 for $10. That's how we shop. We bargain shop. We determine what we're going to can at the time based upon what meat's on sale this week. You know, the last time I canned chicken because chicken was on sale. And once the flooding happened and I was able to get chicken, skinless, boneless breasts for $1.29 a pound, and I canned 7 pint jars of the chicken the last time, and now when it goes on sale it's $1.99. Man, I wish I had canned more chicken. Those prices are only going to continue to go up. So whatever is on sale for the week or every other week, sometimes I can every week, sometimes I can multiple times a week, sometimes I don't can but a couple times a month. You know, it just depends on what our schedules are and what the prices are, because I will not pay full price. You know, that's defeating the purpose, even though full price now may in a year after all this flooding actually be a sale price next year. But we try to make the dollar stretch as far as it can go to build up what we have. But I have boxes of scalloped potatoes and, you know, just things like that that take very minimal water. But what a treat is that going to be? You know, if you want to have scalloped potatoes, but you don't want to pay the price to order the 25-year plus number 10 cans of cheese powder, then, you know, buy the 10 for 10 boxes of mac and cheese and go out and spend $1 on a box of scalloped potatoes, instant mashed potatoes, those kinds of things. So just wanted to give you some ideas. I don't want anybody, you know, now the prepping with the food has become a hobby with me and my son. And we look for the sales and what can we add to our preps, and is it going to be a necessity item? Is it going to be a comfort item? So it's fun for us, you know, checking the sales, seeing, you know, when I go to the store, what I come in with, what Libo Hound goes to the store, what he comes in with. So, you know, it's a hobby for us, but it's a hobby that may pay off. Now, hopefully, we'll never need those things, but, you know, somebody could fall and break a leg, be out of work. You never know what we may need those extra items for. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off. I've kept you really longer than I intended to, but I'm a motor mouth. You all have figured that out by now. So God bless, and always remember, never be scared, just be prepared. Blessings to all. Bye-bye.